Welcome back, Amarillo. I am here with Maria Pasillas. She has joined me this morning because we're talking about a couple of things, but a couple weeks ago, before the Super Bowl, we made a bet. I opened my big mouth and said that I would get a tattoo if the Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl, while you would dye your hair if the Dallas Cowboys won. Of course they didn't. Always a letdown. So as everyone is aware, I lost, of course. So we took a trip to Sew One Ink here in Amarillo so I could pay up. So it was a bit of a rough one, but we do have the artist here, Benji Guajardo. Is that how you say it?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, you said it perfect.
Who actually tattooed me. So as you can see by my face, it was, Ro, don't laugh at me. I was straining, but I will say Benji has a very gentle touch. It wasn't bad at all.
So let me tell you, first of all, I'm glad that you kept the bet, but also you have like the lightest hand. It
yes,
did
Benji,
not seem painful. It did not look painful at all. So I even want to get a tattoo now.
She's right.
Like,
so
to be fair, like it
you have no tattoos.
No, I have no tattoos.
It's about that time.
Yeah.
Have you ever had, it's about the time. Have you ever had anyone come in bet-wise? They came in because they said, someone made a bet, let's get this tattoo. Or usually pretty,
I think that was my first time, actually, yeah.
And what did you think about it? Was it like?
I'm not a Chiefs fan, so I didn't want to do it, but yeah, it came out beautifully. So
well, one of the things you asked me right away, you said, is it the logo because I'm not a Chiefs fan? And I said, no, we're going to make it as fun and artistic as possible. So we did get that arrow. You were in on
let's
it.
just say ours was like just a sketch. He was like the mastermind behind it. He did a beautiful art piece on Erin, and I think we all fell in love with it, to be fair.
Well, I do want to say when we went to see you, I had something very particular in mind, which was this size.
Oh, yeah. And then she looked at the size, I'm like, whoa.
So you drew a beautiful piece. I absolutely loved it. Did you when you were drawing it out, were you very particular about the size because you knew you needed to get those details in there?
Yeah, being a fine line artist, you have to be able to pick the right size so you can get all the detail in there without jeopardizing the size. You know what I mean? Like it's just,
So speaking of that, do you want to go a little bit into detail about what sets you apart from other local artists? Because yours is a fine line. We're talking about the smallest details, like you're going to get them in there.
Yeah, I use a needle that's used for permanent makeup. So that's how small the needle is, and most artists don't use PMU needles. So yeah, with that needle, it's just really fun, and you have to be really careful with the skin, and that's why it comes out so softly, just like that right there.
Yeah.
And we're looking at a lot of your work here because we're seeing that is something different, is how you get those really thin lines. What got you into doing fine line? Did you start with bigger pieces, bolder, and then went to fine line?
No, I started with generally small needles anyways, but I like detail. I have a good eye for detail. So I was just like, I just want to keep going small. How small could I keep going with this needle? And yeah, now I'm on single needles, the smallest.
Well, I think people can see it's not impossible to get those little lines.
Yeah.
And I guess you're next, so.
Yeah, so I was telling him if I ever got something, it would be something as small, like as a little letter. But no, I was definitely fascinated by his work. And I do have to say, like, just the whole experience of being in a tattoo shop, which was my first time ever, you made it a good time. I think everyone had a good time. And I know you have a big following, so we'll talk about his social medias and all that stuff, where people can find you and how they can book you.
Right.
And you will be in Dallas, or you're going to Miami first, right?
I'm doing a guest spot in Miami. I'm doing guest spots all over the country. The more I get viral on TikTok and stuff. But I'm hoping to move to Dallas soon. So.
And then everyone can just DM you, and we will have his social media so they can DM you and book with you, get one of those really lovely tattoos from Benji. For more information, head to myhighplains.com.